Hello and welcome back to a brand new vlog. My name is Orion. I make videos every single Wednesday and Sunday and I post them at 6 p.m. where we have returned to the garage conversion. And last time we painstakingly cut all of the insulation down and finished this room. As you can see, we have been away for the last few vlogs to take a little bit of a break and allow the dust to settle. So first things first, we need to get all of this up there, which to be honest, I'm still wishing that that hole was a little bit bigger. But converting this first has made for a lot of space saving. It's not the easiest thing in the world to get stuff up here, but at least it's out of sight. And clearing it gives us enough space to lay the plasterboard today. Now, I will say this, I have never done pretty much any of this before. This is all my first time. And I have a rough idea of what I'm doing. However, I'm expecting there to be mistakes. One of the things I am preemptively finding quite daunting is that when I lay the plasterboard like this, the ceiling is not level, which means when I lay the plasterboard across it, that gap that you can see up there will persist. As all the batten work that I've done is perfectly level, so you can see the level line that goes across there. And where I've screwed the ceiling up into the beams, it's slightly higher there than it is over there. And it's the ceiling, not the floor, because the floor is perfectly level. A few vlogs back, I took the time to self-level the floor, so I know that the ground is fine. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure what to do about the ceiling, because it is quite a large gap. But I think the first thing I'm going to do is bring one of those sheets in to get an idea of measurements. And I have a strange feeling I have not got enough space to get it from here through the door, so I need to empty all of this out. That is much better. However, it's safe to say that there's been a fair bit of neglect as we've been working on the garage. It was nice and tidy when we first started, and whilst this room is clear and empty, the rest of the lean-to is becoming a bit of a mess, so I think we need to have a bit of a tidy up as well. But if we take one of these sheets in, oh my god, how heavy these are, we should get an idea as to the size of the room. After eyeballing it, it's definitely going to take 2 sheets and then one at the top. And it's nice to know that my measurements haven't gone amiss here, as it is bang in the middle. However, after doing a bit of math, I don't think we have enough plasterboard. I think, oddly enough, I will save more space if I hang the sheets vertically. However, from a structural point of view, it's not ideal to do it like that. At least so I've read. However, just bang some more screws in it, it should be fine. It's only a garage and it is DIY. So I think we're probably going to do them vertically, especially considering the weight of them. Trying to lift the second board on top of the first one is going to be quite a bit by myself. So I think vertical is probably the best way to go. I actually think when I kind of had this whole room in mind, this was how I was going to lay the sheets anyway. So it results in less cutting, hopefully, and the boards at the top will be like smaller, which will make it easier to handle cutting the weird shape of the ceiling. But looking at the bands on the back wall, I have to lay these ones horizontally. This is going to be a headache, I can already see it. However, the great thing about doing this is that I know when I come to do this again that I need to batten correctly and not create this monstrosity. So I think without further ado, let's get that board screwed into there. And to do that, I have some drywall screws, which you can tell because they are black. And I have bought a drill bit especially for sinking the screws. So without further ado, let's get this board screwed in. And we have encountered issue number 2, and that is the placement of my noggins, which I was aware of when I did it. However, if I placed the board vertically, it wouldn't have mattered so much, but evidently it does. It's not the end of the world, but it's not incredibly sturdy. I'm hoping it's fine. The board's not going to fall down, but honestly, with the amount of screws in it and it being placed lengthways or landscape, it should be okay. Time to try and get the next board up. And I'm going to use a combination of this and the ladder to get it into place. Well, that was a bit of a faff, but we had the second board in, and then when I lifted it, Jess made a very good point of asking me where the noggins were, and I didn't think to mark them out. Fortunately, the noggins I've placed on both the side walls are the same as the back wall, so if we follow this line across here, we'll know, and if I follow that line across there, it'll be the same. I hope, and I think. Because that one's not the same. If I miss, we'll find out. But I'm going to use a straight edge or my massive level here to draw some pencil lines on it so we don't miss. Just like so. Time to add some screws. It is safe to assume that looks bizarre. The screws are quite literally all over the place, but it is screwed into a batten and it ain't going nowhere. Now we have some offcuts we need to do in the corner there and above. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all the full sheets first and then see what we have left to do all the offcuts with. So cue the music, it's time to lay some plasterboard. Alright, that took as many as 3 sheets. I actually didn't consider this, but to fit a sheet there, I need to cut that sheet, and to fit a sheet on this wall, I also need to cut that sheet, otherwise it all kind of falls off center. So to fill the gap in the corner, what I'm going to use is 2 more boards horizontally to space out, because I don't know whether the wood is bowed or it's the wall is not quite plumb, but for whatever reason, the gap there is a different gap to up here. So it's going to be a slight slanted line. I'm hoping it slots in. So using a Stanley knife and a straight edge, I am going to very carefully score the front of the board. Then hopefully, if I bang the back of the board, it should snap. I do not have crazy high hopes for this, but we're gonna see if it works. Oh, look at that. Then we get a nice crease. And I can take my Stanley knife and cut the back. And hopefully that board will slot in there. This should go in here. Bloody hell, would you look at that? It fits! I am actually quite proud of the fact that I did that first time perfectly. Time to get it screwed in and take measurements for the next board. Which, on the second cut, the edges are a little rough, as you can see there. So I bought this tool, which is called a Surform, and you essentially use it as a grater to smooth the edges out. That way, it fits in snug. Not bad at all, if I do say so myself. Now that we have got the back wall all the way across, I'm going to continue all the way along here. So, using a bit of movie magic, the wall is now done. Just need to cut some more here. And I think even though I've laid all of these vertically, I kind of like how easier it is to cut a smaller piece and measure as I go, rather than cutting one long strip and then it's like, you know, it doesn't fit. It also means I can continue to use the same offcut I got from doing that. So with another corner done, it is time to do this corner. However, there is a socket there. The plan is to make the socket flush to the wall. So I have one of these, which is a back box. Essentially, it is going to sit in the wall like so and bury the socket. That way I don't have a surface box protruding from the wall too much. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the board cut to where I want it, and then I'm going to cut out the hole where I want the socket to go. And to do that, we are going to place our back box there, draw a line around it, then cut it out using the multi-tool. Just like that, we have a snug back box. I'm really hoping it fits in that gap. And I'm not gonna lie and pretend that that went smoothly, because it did not. Basically, the back box I have got fits in there perfectly, right? You see how snug that is? However, what I didn't compensate for is these little clips. Now, how this works is they clip in like so, and then they use the space there. You see that gap right there my finger is? It basically grips onto the plasterboard, and that's what holds it in place. So you fasten a socket onto that, and it pulls it tight together. However, yeah. What I didn't account for is that these little things, you see in the very middle there, they have like an angled groove on them. So what happens is when you try and put that in there, it looks like it's all snug until the box has to go in, and it's just not. So a bit of a fail. I didn't consider how much the clips would protrude out, because I didn't take into account this little like slanted edge here. So when I put it in, it pushed back, and it's created a bit of a problem that I've had to resolve, which is why it looks ugly as anything right now. Now I can fill over this, sand it out and smooth it, and it should be fine after the fact, but it's obviously broken the plaster when I fastened it to the wall. It ain't going anywhere anymore. It is securely in place, and this one will be a lot different. And hopefully some of the light switch, it's not going here right now, it's just currently temporarily screwed into this. I will move the light switch across, so it's only got the plasterboard to hug to instead of like wood getting in the way. If I stand all the way over here, you can't even tell. It'll be fine. Oh, and if you're wondering why I didn't film the process, it's because I was doing it in the dark, because when I do that, the lights all go off. So yeah, Here's what it is, but it's done. Now I think it's time to get 2 boards placed here, and I got 2 boards placed at the top. Unfortunately, I didn't have another back box for this, so it's currently surface mounted, but honestly, I really don't care. As long as it works, it's not in the way, and as I said before, it doesn't have to be the prettiest job in the world. It's literally just a storage room. I've left space behind it, so if I want to take this off and actually bury the switch, I can do that later on, but for now, it works. I just need to do the fiddly bits around the door. I am now understanding why people say don't plaster, but it's done. All that's left to do is all of the top edges, which shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. And then it's finished. Holy moly, what an endeavor doing this room has been. I've said it already this vlog, but I understand why people say not to plasterboard. It was quite the headache. I feel like I'm in a padded room. It's very echoey in here now because it's walls for the sound to bounce off of. We actually didn't use all the plasterboard. As you can see above the door, I ended up using scraps, and because of that, I managed to fix up the socket down there. But there you have it, a fully plastered room. All that's left to do now is tape all the joints up and then potentially like skim the walls and plaster it. But I'm not sure what to do about that one. I don't know if I should give it a go myself or I should hire someone to come in and do a proper job. And then if I have someone do it, it's all done properly, the room will feel really nice. It'll feel like a properly finished room. Whilst I think I have done an okay job, it definitely feels like DIY Dave has come in here and done the room. And if I get someone to come and do a plaster job on it, it will give it that final finish, which will look really nice. And I can paint it myself. I'm not too worried about painting. But yeah, a clean layer of plaster over the top will cover up all of the joints, all the gaps, all the holes, and it will give it a really smooth, nice finish. Similar to how like the floor is nice and cleanly done. But there you have it. Another job done. I also need to fit this door at some point. I need to get the hinges for it, but until I decide what I'm going to do with inside, like skimming the room or whatever, I'm going to hold out and finish like until I do the door, just because I need to decide where I'm going to be spending money and how much I want to spend on doing the room. I've come this far that a part of me is like, I should learn it. If you think I should give it a go myself, then let me know in the comments down below. But it's like an art form. I feel like doing like skimming walls is like a real talent, and it's not something I think I can do. I'm open for giving things a go, but I just don't want to make it look really bad. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you've enjoyed this video, then please do leave it a thumbs up, I'd appreciate that. I used to have subscribe written on the wall, but that's gone now. So if you are new to my channel and you enjoy DIY stuff, or just want to follow along with what my family gets up to, then please do hit subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. We are on the road to 25k, which is nuts, and I really do appreciate the support. As always, guys, been Orion. I need to go chill out. I'm exhausted. But yeah, peace, much love. Bye-bye.